Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Kidney Coach YouTube channel. I'm naturopathic Dr. Fiona Chin, co-founder of the Kidney Disease Solution and our product, Kygenesis. And I'm joined again today by the lovely Nicole Williams. Nicole is from the Mind Growth Garden. That is her own business, and that's what banner she's talking under today. You may have seen Nicole on our channel a few times before. She is a mindset coach. She has worked in the public health system for so long, just helping people navigate that journey of public health when they're diagnosed with a chronic disease. But what we haven't mentioned before is that Nicole is also certified in essential oils. So she's technically a certified essential oil specialist. We just say aromatherapist in Australia. I don't know if that's the same thing over there, but
yeah.
And that we really wanted to dive into the essential oils because Nicole really has been walking us through some really great tools that you can use at home to work with stress and your mindset and the fear that we know that comes up when you're diagnosed with a chronic disease. But what we wanted to dive into is just how amazing essential oils are and how easy they are to use. I've got them burning around the home all the time. And there's some really, really amazing specific oils that are great for kidney health and also for stress and mental well-being. So, Nicole, I'm going to hand across to you. But the question I wanted to start with, because there's always a story behind why people get into essential oils, is why essential oils? What was it that drew you to them and made you to start working with them? Maybe start there for me.
Yes. So thank you, Fiona, for having me on again. So I started with essential oils about 5 years ago, and I actually became really interested in them to support my son. So my son had been diagnosed with ADHD, and we had some trouble with sleep. And, kind of getting this little anxious body who's about 4 at the time to like calm down for the evening and get some good sleep and find time to really relax and rest. And I wasn't ready to step into medication yet to support that. And this was, about 9, almost 10 years ago. And so some of the natural ways of supporting sleep were really, I was just learning myself. And so I immediately went to essential oils. There was actually kind of like an aroma apothecary kind of shop near my house. And so I popped in there and I said, I'm having trouble with my son. What can you offer me? And it really just piqued my interest in these very simple ways to support not just ourselves personally, but also the environment. Like one of the first things she gave me was something that I would actually place on like a ceramic, a ceramic looking kind of flower that you would place like on a bulb of a lamp that kind of heats, just simply heats the aroma and it really relaxes the room. Or we started adding essential oils into the bath and kind of building them very slowly in our routine. I found so many great benefits for him. I was like, wait a minute, let me try some things for myself, right? I have headaches. I sometimes have trouble sleeping. I get really anxious at moments. Where else can this really take me? So that was 5 years ago, and I was hooked.
So you've had some great success with them, hence your passion. And I will just say in here too, I also love essential oils. I'm looking this way because I've got a huge collection of them sitting over there. So, and they are, like you say, we underestimate just the olfactory nerve and how it works. So maybe I'll let you lead it, but I would love you just to give us an overview of how they work, why they work, the mechanism, because people just say, I'm just smelling smelly things. Like, how can they have an effect on my sleep or even my kidney function? Like, come on now, I'm just smelling something. So maybe walk us through there and then I'll let you lead the conversation.
Yeah. So before I jump in there, I just want to say a few things. One, I've been on the podcast before representing the Kidney Nutrition Institute. And so today I am representing just my own company, which is the Mind Growth Garden. That's my life coaching and wellness coaching and consulting business. As you said, I'm a certified essential oil specialist and have been using these for 5 years for many different reasons for myself and my family. And lastly, I'm not a medical professional. And so what I'm sharing today is based on research and my experience. So little disclaimer out there. So let me first by maybe defining a bit. I know you had mentioned the word aromatherapist or aromatherapy. So I'll share a little bit of basics in the beginning. So when someone says the term aromatherapy, what they're really describing is this kind of holistic therapeutic approach. It's a way using essential oils to support your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being and health. Essential oils are not a cure. So they're not a cure for treatment. They're not a shortcut. Actually, what they really do is they help support your body's natural systems, your body's natural way of functioning and really repairing and maintaining its own health, right? Supporting your body's kind of natural processes. An essential oil itself is a highly concentrated extract from a plant. All parts of the plant are used, which I think is amazing, right? The root, the flower, the stem, the leaf. And what we find is that depending on where that oil is sourced within the plant, it has certain properties that are great for your body. So for example, oils that are sourced from the root. If you think of a root is it's strong, it's grounding, it anchors the plant into the ground. And some of the chemical constituents within that root of the plant, in order for that root to remain strong and grounded, that is what's extracted. And so when we use that oil, an oil that comes to mind for me is vetiver. It's amazing for sleep. Very, very calming and grounding, almost sedative like to your body. It will function that same way. It will provide that grounding for us as individuals. So that's kind of what an essential oil is in a nutshell. Not all essential oils are the same. So the essential oil industry as a whole is not regulated.
Yes.
It's very important that you're using something that is pure, because when anyone shares a benefit of using an essential oil, so lavender is relaxing, right? And those kind of terms and information is based on research. And the research that's done in essential oils is done on a pure oil. So if you want your lavender to support you in calming you and helping you with sleep, you got to use a pure oil, right? So, and let me just say really quickly, if I could share a few red flags just to look out for. Anytime you pick up an essential oil bottle, you want to make sure that the name of the oil and the botanical name is also shown. So the botanical name for lavender is Lavandula augustifolia. It's pretty long, but that should also be on that bottle of oil that you have, right? There shouldn't be any other ingredients. A lot of times companies like to use substitution. So Lavinin is often used to replace lavender essential oil, as an example. This is really interesting. Pricing. So pricing comes up quite a bit as I educate and talk with different individuals. The way in which an oil is extracted, it really depends on the plant. So rose essential oil, it takes about 22 pounds of roses to produce a bottle of rose essential oil. Whereas lemon, it takes about 1 pound, peppermint, it takes 1 pound of peppermint to produce a bottle. So those prices are going to be different, right? If you're in a Whole Foods or a store where they widely sell them, oftentimes the prices are all the same. That's a red flag. That's a red flag. Lastly, you want to make sure the company does some independent testing on the purity and quality of the oil. The company that I work for and what I look for are to make sure that there are a certain number of tests that are done and that I have access to see those results from those tests. And let me just check my notes and make sure I didn't forget anything. The last thing I would say is fragrance. So you might often see the words fragrance on the bottle. Be careful. That means that there are synthetic ingredients in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So just always important to kind of lay that groundwork when we're talking about using essential oils.
Yeah, no, very, very good point. Okay, so walk us through. So how do they work? So we're smelling something. How does it then make us feel calmer or improve our kidney function or enhance blood flow? Or how does that work by smelling something? What was that?
It's so fascinating. So first, let me share with the smell. There are three ways in which you can use oils, right? So smell would be aromatic. You can also place some on your skin. And for certain oils, you can take them internally. And so when we talk about aromatic use, what's happening is our limbic system, which is housed, right, just in our brain, right, kind of in the near our amygdala, all of those areas of our brain. But our limbic system is where our emotion, memories, our mood, all of those, the things that kind of evoke these feelings that we experience, it all comes from our limbic system. And so when we smell an essential oil, it has the ability, those particles go in through our nose, in through our olfactory bulb, which is then connected to the limbic system. So let's take, for example, if you were to think back to being a kid and walking into your grandparents' house, and I don't want to make any assumptions. My grandmother was a cooker. She loved to bake. You can probably part of the memory, or that part of what might be tied to that memory is a scent.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think for me, it's like usually my grandmother's like perfume, like it's like a spice kind of scent. And so that's because that part of our brain, that limbic system, right, we're able to recall so quickly the smells, maybe what her voice sounded like, the imagery of the room that we walked into. And so when we are smelling certain essential oils and interacting with them, though the chemical constituents of that oil have that effect on it's almost interacting with our brain chemistry to help provide calming effects for our mood, to help uplift our mood, to help again connect more to receptors related to like this deep sense of grounding, or even our nervous system. So that when we use them aromatically, that's what's happening for us. And I like to always do the test of challenging someone to smell like a citrus, like a wild orange or a peppermint, and to think of something like really sad also at the same time. It's almost impossible. It's almost impossible, just because though that oil combination immediately will shift your mood and your energy and that emotion.
Fascinating, huh?
Yeah, just really fascinating. I think when it comes to thinking more about the rest of our body, so not just our emotion, but like we're talking more about today, kidney function, or maybe even something like, having an upset stomach. My kids experience that all the time. I always suggest a topical kind of targeted placement for oils, depending on what you're experiencing. And when you use it with what we call in the essential oil world, like a carrier oil. So that just means that it's another, like a coconut, fractionated coconut oil or jojoba oil, combined with the pure essential oil, that allows that pure essential oil to really penetrate into the skin even deeper and to do more work for your body. The beauty of using an essential oil is that you may be using, like we just described, peppermint, right? Peppermint is great for uplifting the mood. But if peppermint is also the only oil I have and I have an upset stomach, it also can help with digestion.
Mm-hmm.
So that I love the versatility of how we can use the essential oils. So topical placement is important. And finally, I choose these words carefully. Using internal usage has to be done with someone who knows what they're doing. And again, using a pure essential oil, but internally, it really has the ability to work more on your body systems.
Yeah, I know it's in Europe, it's a huge thing that they use essential oils internally. They've got quite a specific medicine and prescription and way they work with it over there. So that has to be
amazing.
Oh, it's so amazing. They use it, obviously, as you would know, for worms and gastrointestinal stuff. And yeah, so, but yeah, like you say, qualified practitioner with that one. And because taking essential oils internally the wrong way can also cause a lot of damage.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So we've got an understanding of how they work and using them topically and smelling and potentially internally. So walk us through. So do you want to start with kidney disease? What are some of your favorite essential oils if I was diagnosed with chronic kidney disease?
Yeah. Yes. Great question. So there are two specific ways or areas that I would start off with helping someone who was just freshly diagnosed. First, I would say that we want to help preserve your kidney function, right? Mm-hmm. And knowing that the kidneys work to help provide like this filtration for our body, we want to choose oils that target things like helping with detoxification, mm-hmm. Helping with inflammation, mm-hmm. and also circulation, so blood circulation. So, and there's a few, as I work with clients, and everyone is different, right? What I feel is my role and how I can really support them is providing kind of a simple protocol for them to start with. And again, that will vary for each person, but some ideas or some things that immediately come to mind for me and what oils I would suggest are things like lemongrass. So lemongrass is so great. It can increase that blood flow to the kidneys. It's great for treating infections if that's part of the kidney function. It's also an anti-inflammatory oil, and so it's great to help with inflammation. Juniper berry is another that comes to mind. Mm-hmm. And that also helps to increase the rate of the kidney filtration process. So that's a great oil. There's a blend that I also highly recommend. It's called Xenocrin. And this is a blend through doTERRA essential oils. And this combines rosemary, cilantro, you have juniper berry, and those three alone are like this cocktail for internal detoxifying properties, and has the ability to support kind of that healthy kidney function. Mm-hmm. It also has tangerine and geranium, which have more purifying effects against unhealthy substances in your body. So you are, it's just this beautiful combination of the right type of oils that bring the right constituents to really support that process for your body. We spoke a second ago about internal usage, and one really simple thing that I personally do every day and that I always recommend is placing a citrus oil in your water. And so citrus oils are high in limonene, which is that specific property that helps to do more of, I want to say cleansing, but it's really this ability to kind of keep things clean internally for us, I think is the best way to explain it. And so that is a great and easy way to provide that foundation for yourself every day.
Mm-hmm.
When I think of, so that's one part, right? So that's more of the kidney function. The other big part of this is, how do you support your stress? How do you support those anxious moments as a patient? But we can't forget about the caregivers. Right? I think the beauty of building in essential oils into your menu, if you will, of things that you're using to support yourself is that it can support you as someone battling and facing kidney disease, but anyone else who's coming into your space and who's there to support you, these can help them too. Oils can help them too. So I tend to recommend a combination first of oils that are going to provide that grounding effect that we talked about a little bit ago. I love a combination of like a frankincense, a blue tansy, which is excellent for stress. Bergamot is also a really well-studied oil for stress and anxiety. So what I would do is I would recommend a combination of oils to start with. And it is as simple as diffusing these oils throughout your day, particularly at night, to help calm, to help with sleep. We also have, or I also have, quite a few oils that can provide not just support for anxiety, but there are times throughout our day where we may be transitioning, like maybe we're going to a doctor's appointment and we're feeling particularly anxious about this. What can I do in that moment to support myself and prepare for that? So there's different ways to do that. There's a great oil called Adaptive that combines some mints and some mint oils, some citrus oils, that can really help support those anxious feelings that are coming up. I recommend, as far as how to use them, is a simple rollerball. I provide that rollerball combination for clients so they have that with them on the go. There are also small essential oil inhalers that you can just put the oil drops in, and you can just inhale that oil, and it will just immediately shift your mood.
Amazing. Yeah, I used to use a rollerball combination of it was lavender and mint when I used to get migraines, and I'd just rub it on the back of my occipital and then on my temples. And it was amazing how, that made me stop using migraine medication. It was just using those two essential oils. It's so good.
So good. So good. I'd also like to just point out that having a routine is important. Having a routine and how you building essential oils, I should say, into your routine provides a way for you to kind of get ahead of anything that might be happening for you. So you have a routine set, so it becomes easier, and maybe you experience these anxious moments less and less. Also, essential oils, I always recommend them to be used as in the moment support. So think back to, oh my gosh, I have an upset stomach. Grab your peppermint, or there's a great blend that includes like fennel and peppermint called DigestZen, and grab that, rub some on your belly. So it's again back to this versatility. You can use it in the moment to support yourself, but also when you build it into your routine, it's magical. It's really magical with how our body begins to adapt to the use of these oils. And again, we're supporting our natural healthy function within our systems.
Amazing. And what sort of results have you seen with people with kidney disease when you've worked with them and built in essential oils into their regime? How has that been received by the patient, and what sort of comments are they feeding back to you?
Yeah. So I have worked quite a bit with kind of the stress reduction side. I think for anyone's comfort level when it comes to using oils for the first time, most of my clients so far are like, okay, I'm feeling anxious, I'm stressed, I can't sleep. What can I use for that first? So we always start, where they're comfortable, and immediately there is this sense of calm, but also this ability of knowing that they have more control than they think they do.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, because you're arming them with information, but also tools that they can readily have for themselves. I think when it comes to medications and you have kidney disease, that can be scary, right? There's so many nuances to taking certain medications when you have kidney disease. So finding another way to support yourself is really important. Um, what I what my go-to is for supporting kidney health, in addition to what I mentioned, there's also foundational support. So what are kind of the foundational, like vitamins and other additional supplements? How are they really supporting themselves from that way? Are they taking their omegas? Are they getting enough are they able to supplement their diet right properly? So I really focus on, again, this idea that we can't have you can't have a strong house without a good foundation.
Yeah,
It's
I've
kind
heard
of
you
the
say that
premise.
before, and it's so true, right? There's no point building on top of a crumbling foundation.
Exactly. Exactly. So I start with understanding where the client's comfort level is, what their needs are. I'm here to do the research and to pull the right resources and tools to support them. But what's their comfort level with using essential oils? And then slowly kind of building up the use over time, establishing that strong routine, and then building their foundation. I always recommend at least a 3-month time frame of using oils and maintaining this very specific routine. Our within our body, our red blood cells replenish about every 80 to 90 days. And so you'll begin to notice a difference once you get through that 90-day cycle.
It's a
You'll
very
see
good
a difference immediately, but I think from a really kind of foundational kind of longevity health perspective. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's something that people often forget, is that people think it's looking for quick fixes and things. And you're right. Blood cells take, sort of 80 to 90 days to replenish. That's why when we're giving someone iron supplements and things like that, we're like, you're not going to see results for 3 months because we've got to get new blood cells out there that have actually got the iron. So it's the same for using essential oils therapeutically. They need to be incorporated in for 3 months. And it's not, especially if you're using them for things like kidney disease and inflammation and those sort of. And that's the brilliance of essential oils, I guess, too, because they're quite fast acting when they're working on more the mental, emotional sort of states via the olfactory nerve versus, say, the oils and the terpenes that are in there that you mentioned, lemon and things like that, that actually work systemically, but they're going to take a lot longer for you to see them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. In the past, at some of the past podcasts, we've talked a lot about the mindset strategies and the challenge it can be when to like redirect your thoughts or kind of shift your mindset. I love building in an essential oil to help with that, right? When we talk about getting kind of caught in, we talked about these common thinking challenges or these areas where we just kind of get stuck. It happens to us all. Breaking that thought cycle, addressing your emotion first with the use of an oil, getting yourself to a state where you're calm enough to think differently, you're calm enough to approach your situation differently, you're calm enough to tap into these other tools and strategies that we've talked about. And so I love in my practice combining the two and really helping someone understand how you can use the essential oils and the mindset strategies so that they work collectively to a greater benefit.
I'm almost hearing like they're almost circuit breakers. So if you're in a certain frame of mind, and you may have found this with your son, if you've got a child that's anxious or you're feeling anxious and you get those ruminating, circulating thoughts where you can't get out of them, the smell almost can act like a circuit breaker. So it gives you a moment to re-challenge how you think, to change your thought processes, to actually go back in and see it. And I think that's where they really have a power, why they're so powerful, that I don't know anything else apart from maybe breathing techniques that work. And, sometimes you can't get a 4 or 5-year-old if we're talking about children, or, someone that's just like, don't tell me how to breathe, but maybe just smelling an oil is just enough to circuit break for someone to take enough pause to, reframe.
That's right. Yes. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, they're really quite amazing that way. Do you want to mention anything else about these beautiful oils and how to use them? I mean, you've mentioned the brand that you use, and I know doTERRA. I know there's a couple of good brands out there, doTERRA being one of them, that actually third-party tests and all those sort of things. Is there anything else that you want to say about the brands or the oils, or finding a practitioner to work with? Obviously, people can reach out to you if they want to talk to someone about just getting started with some basics. That's something that you could do.
Absolutely. I think there are, this industry as a whole is becoming just so widely popularized that I think it can be overwhelming when you're stepping into this for the first time. And so I would encourage anyone who's interested just to, again, reach out to me, and I can just, help you start small. I always stress that it's so important, right? Goal setting, mindset, whatever it is, right? We have to start small and give ourselves an opportunity to try it, because it really is amazing. So I can be reached. I'm on Instagram quite a bit, and my business page is on there as well.
We'll put the link below for you, so we've got that there. So it's the Mind Growth Garden on Instagram. So I'll make sure that.
Yep. And I'll also make sure you have my email to reach out to me. There is an event that I am co-leading or presenting at called Reclaim Your Health. It's a virtual event on June 17th. And it's just a time where myself and some other great educators will provide like this focused education to help you figure out what support you do need to really reclaim your health and get your body back to kind of that normal balance and state.
Sounds amazing.
Make sure that link is in there as well.
Yeah, please make sure you give me all of that information. I'll link it below so people, if they want to, can join that. Anything else you want to add, Nicole, before we wrap up about the amazing addition of essential oils into people's day-to-day lifestyle?
No, I don't think so. I don't. I appreciate the opportunity just to share and know that this is something that you can absolutely add to whatever you're doing to support yourself.
Yeah, they just seem like such a nice, simple addition, whether it be you want to work on the mindset and just have that circuit breaker to give yourself pause to reframe your thoughts, or maybe long-term, something that you can rub into your lower back around your kidneys, or smell, or whatever that is, and however that works for you, working with a more qualified practitioner. But there's a lot of different ways that you can use essential oils. And at the very least, they just make the house smell nice. If we're going to go on the very least, I often burn them I've got a great big Doberman just to make the house smell good. And obviously if I'm working, I've got, I might have some rosemary in there to help my concentration.
Right, help with focus. Sort of I know. Yeah. They really are just amazing, fantastic.
They're so versatile. Yeah, I'm very fond of my oils and always have been. Lemongrass being also one of my favorites. So, well, Nicole, it's always a pleasure to have you on. I will make sure all those links are dropped below so people have got all of that information. Make sure you head over and check out Nicole's Instagram page. If you want to know more about what we do, head to www.kidneycoach.com. We're on Instagram and Facebook and all those things with a /Kidney Coach after. Make sure you hit subscribe. That way you'll get notified anytime we put up a new video. Again, all Nicole's details will be below. We'll put the link to the online seminar that she's doing, her Instagram page, her email address, so you can reach her directly, and her business page. So Nicole, thanks again. And everybody watching, thanks for being part of our community. Hopefully now you feel a little bit more, confident in maybe integrating some essential oils into your day-to-day life. I think they're just such a lovely add-on and easy to do. And then if you want to progress and do a little bit more with them, reach out to Nicole. Thanks again for listening. We hope you found this useful. Drop a comment in below and we'll see you next time. Thanks, Nicole.